Yo, RX back with another breakdown of UFC Atlanta. Usman versus Buckley. We back with another breakdown of a card, of a fight night, of a trip to Atlanta that looks decent. I think the card order is kind of terrible, but I think the card overall is pretty decent. Like, the main event's great. I don't need to tell you that. Co-main's kind of ass. Some of the main card fights should probably be on the prelims, and some of the prelims should probably be on the main card. But it's still an alright card. It's still, even with the order being kind of fucky, it still looks to be a pretty solid card, and I'm very excited for it. I've talked about it so much in the last week, not even just today. Like, obviously, well, last night from when this is dropping, but I'll say today from when this is happening. Obviously, I streamed for 4 fucking hours on Thursday. 2 early in the day, 2 early, or 2 at night. Now I'm doing this a few hours after the second stream. It's probably gonna be about 5 hours of total, content to come out in 24 hours. The shit I do for y'all, but I love it, and I've talked about this card a lot already, so I'm kind of well versed in it. So I'm excited to break it down. I'm very excited to break it down in video form more in depth than I have on the streams. Outside of the main event, I kind of got in depth on that, but outside of that, we've not really got very in depth, and I'm very excited for this card. Again, trip to Atlanta for the first time in a long time. I can't remember the last time they hit Hot Atlanta. And again, they're bringing Usman, Cody Garbrandt, Chiesa, Wellmaker, a bunch of good ass fights. Really no bad fights on the card. I'd say maybe the first 2 are kind of weak. After that, the card gets pretty decent. And it should be a fun card. It really should be a fun card, so Atlanta should get a fun one as we, well, I guess, can begin our fight nights around the world for a few weeks as we continue our trip around the world, because UFC's not going back to the Apex till like the end of summer. So this week we go from New Jersey all the way to Hot Atlanta before we go all the way to Azerbaijan next week. Right now we got breakdown UFC Atlanta, so let's do just that. I can't wait. It looks like a decent card. Let's do it. Last thing I'll say before I do is, as always, the YouTube shit. Please like, comment, and subscribe. 200 subs goal by the end of the year. Still doesn't feel real saying that, but we're at 112. Let's get to 200, can we? By the end of 2025. Kind of cool. I did do 5+ hours of content for you on between Thursday and Friday, mainly if we're just talking when this video is being recorded on Thursday. So I think but nah, I don't think I deserve shit. What I hope is you enjoyed anything that you've seen from me lately, and that's my goal, is to give the bare minimum one person some enjoyment. If I can do that, I'm happy with my content, and that's the goal. So with that being said, I'm ready to break down this card fully after talking about it a good amount over the last few days, so let's do just that. Unless I'm going to say something, which I don't believe I am. UFC Atlanta Breakdown. You ready? I know I am. Let's begin it. Let's go. 13 fights in total, just like last week, but this time we don't have an early prelims, we just got prelims. As we begin those said prelims in the women's flyweight division with our first fight of the night, and one of the few fights on the card that did have a replacement in it. For better or worse, yeah, that's for you to decide. I think this is an interesting fight, as we have in our opening fight of the night in the women's flyweight division, on a short nose fight to begin the night in Hot Atlanta with Vanessa, Little Monster, Demopoulos versus Jamey-Lyn, Horth. Obviously, this is not the fight they booked straight up. The original fight was Jamey-Lyn Horth versus Teresa Bleda. Teresa Bleda pulled out. Vanessa Demopoulos stepped in, I think, last week. And now we got Demopoulos making her return to flyweight for the first time since, I believe, her debut, which was also on short notice. So this should be interesting. This is a very interesting fight for mainly height reasons, because Demopoulos is really short. And we're gonna see. We're gonna see how this goes. Harder or easier fight than Teresa Bleda? We'll see. There's only one way to find out, so let's break it down. And then we'll begin with our first fighter of the night, Vanessa Demopoulos, who has a pretty deep UFC record at this point, 5-4 in the UFC over the past couple of years. Pretty active fighter. Already her second fight this year. Her wins in the UFC have been Silvia Gomez-Suarez, Jinyu Fry, Maria Oliveira, Kanako Murata, and Emily Ducote. Her only 4 losses have been JJ Aldridge, Karolina Kowalkiewicz, Jacqueline Amorim, and Talita Alencar. Yeah, she's had a solid UFC career, a 5-1 last 6 fights at one point is a lot more than a lot of fighters can say. Not many fighters can say they're 5-1 after 6 fights. So, and let's be honest, her losses are not that. Her first 2 losses are not that bad. Aldridge and Karolina, 2 veterans. Her losses lately, even though the Amorim fight was bullshit, have not been great. She got completely outclassed by Talita Alencar. She just couldn't get up and couldn't do anything. Now, her first fight at flyweight since her debut on short notice, so she's not making that cut down to strawweight, which has seemed to be a painful cut for her at times. Missing, and a few times I think she missed, but she did make weight on the retry, so that's good. So it's going to be interesting to see her more filled out up at strawweight, and whatever the fuck that is. And we'll see how she looks here. Probably fighting for a job, to be honest. Because a loss here would be a 3-fight skid, and the UFC, I really don't think they see much value in Vanessa. She is 36 years old. She is very short. She's not the most entertaining, but she's not a bad fighter. I truly don't think she's a bad fighter. Again, you don't win 5 fights in the UFC by accident. Yes, they were against pretty low-level competition, but still. And then again, her losses: JJ Aldridge on short notice, okay. Karolina Kowalkiewicz in 2023, not great. Jacqueline Amorim, someone a lot of people are high on, even though she sucks. And Talita Alencar, that one's inexcusable. So, and a loss to Jamey-Lyn Horth wouldn't be great either. But on short notice, up a weight class when you're 7 inches shorter, you could kind of excuse that to an extent. So I don't know. It's very interesting to see. This is, again, Demopoulos probably fighting for a job. Again, I don't think she's a bad fighter. Her striking is not great. Her offensive grappling's alright. Her defensive grappling's pretty bad. Gonna be interesting. This should be very interesting. Again, 36 years old on a no camp, up a weight class at 5'2". Let's see what little monster can do. Can she save her UFC career? Let's find out. And to do that, she has to see how she does against the Canadian, who is not stepping in on short notice, the much taller Canadian Jamey-Lyn Horth, who is 2-2 in the UFC. Her 2 wins have been Haley Cowan and Ivana Petrovic. Her 2 losses have been Veronica Hardy and Miranda Maverick. Wins-wise, it should be Haley Cowan, who's garbage, and Ivana Petrovic, who's garbage. Losses, Veronica Hardy, not awful, and Miranda Maverick, very understandable. I don't think Jamey-Lyn Horth is that good, to be honest. I truly don't. Like, in the UFC, she's not looked great. Like, in all 4 of her fights. Like, Cowan, she looked fine, but it's Haley Cowan. Veronica Hardy, she looked eh. For Ivana Petrovic, she looked eh. and Miranda Maverick, she got beat. So I don't think she's that good. She's 35 years old, 7-2. What is she really good at? Her striking is okay-ish. Her grappling is not great-ish. I just don't think she's that great of a fighter. Especially with how good female Canadian MMA is right now. I definitely think she might be the black sheep because she's just kind of eh. And now she's down at flyweight. She went 1-1 at she went 1-0 at bantamweight. Now she's 1-2 at flyweight. She's just not that great. Got no power in her hands. Again, her striking's okay. Her grappling's eh. I just really don't think she's that good, to be honest. I truly don't. But I don't think she's awful. I don't think she's a can. But I really don't look at Horth as some great fighter either. I think I would have picked I would have 100% picked Treza Bleda to beat her. And we'll see who I pick in this one. I just don't think Horth is that good. I truly don't. So I just don't. But clearly the betting odds think Jamey-Lyn Horth is very good. I know they're not, the betting odds are not on Tapology right now, but I did look at them earlier, and Horth is like minus 500, 600, which I think is a little insane. The only reason I really think she's that big of a favorite is because she is that big of a height advantage, 5'7" to 5'2", so 5-inch height advantage is pretty nice. We'll see what that looks like at the face-offs. If they were around the same height, I don't think the odds would be like that, to be honest. Like 82 to 18. Honestly, like, no bullshit, I truly think Vanessa Demopoulos is the better fighter. I think her striking might be a step or two behind, but not by much. Her grappling is better. Her offensive grappling is better. I think, like, she's just better. We've seen more of her in the UFC. Shit. She has as many losses as Horth has wins. So, does that tell you? But no, this is a tough one to pick. I don't think this is as cut and dry in the odds to make it seem. Jamey-Lyn Horth minus 600 is pretty gross, to be honest. I would say, I get Horth being a favorite, but I would say maybe minus 250. Like, I can make a case for minus 250 over 600. Like, that's just kind of too high of a bar to try and hit. Like, you think, minus 600, you think she's going to 30-27, Vanessa with ease. Which is possible. Again, she has that ginormous height advantage. So, that is possible. But I truly think I think they've done this her whole UFC career. I think people truly overlook Vanessa Demopoulos. She's not that terrible. She's not great. She's not a top 15 level fighter, but I don't think she's terrible either. I think she's a perfectly average fighter. She's just short in this fight. In this fight, she's just really short. So, it's gonna be an interesting one. I don't think it's as cut and dry as people want to make it seem. Who am I picking here? Fuck. Again, I'll say it. I truly think Vanessa Demopoulos is the better fighter here. So give me Vanessa Demopoulos. I think she's better. I truly do. I think she's better. I think she's going to be able to squeak this one out. Or maybe round 1 and 2. Probably a split decision. I think she can squeak this one out and get a win. I think the UFC wants her to win. I think not making that brutal cut down to strawweight could be really good for her. I don't think Jamey-Lyn Horth is that good. If Vanessa can get her down one time in round 1 or one time in round 2 and win those rounds, she is gonna win this fight. She really is. So, but if she can't get on the inside for 15 minutes and just gets kicked away, I would not be shocked. I truly would not be shocked. Give me the underdog, though. I just have a feeling. I'm going to go with the better fighter. And in my opinion, the better fighter here is Vanessa Demopoulos. So, give me Vanessa Demopoulos by decision. Will this age badly? Probably. there's a very high chance Jamie just keeps on the feet and kicks Vanessa away for 15 minutes like we've seen some fighters do in the past. But I'm going to say Vanessa finds a way to catch a kick or get on the inside and win. I truly think she's the better fighter. So, give me Vanessa Demopoulos by decision. Upset to be in the night. It's going to be a rough one. Again, I see a split decision incoming. But, you never know, do you? You never know. So, I truly think Vanessa's better. Give me Vanessa by decision in what should be a fight that's a lot closer than people say it is. Vanessa by decision. After that, we go to our second fight of the night. Another fight booked not that long ago, but not forever ago. It was a few weeks ago, so not the longest training camp for these guys, but still a little bit of time to train. As we have in our second fight of the night, our first male fight of the night in the welterweight division, a very busy weight class on this card. As we have in our second fight of the night, our first male fight of the night, the Fresh Prince Phil Rowe versus the last ninja, Ange Loosa. Yeah, we talked about low-level fights before. This is another one. These first two fights of the night are very rough. No offense to Demopoulos, but that fight's still kind of low-level. And this fight is super low-level. This is a loser gets cut fight, in my opinion. This is gonna be an interesting one. Two guys pretty much fighting for their job. Let's see who wants it more. Let's see who keeps it. Let's talk about Phil Rowe first, a guy we've not seen in what feels like forever. Rowe in the UFC is 3-3, coming out of Contender Series way back in the day, I feel. All the way back in 2019, beating Edmen's brother. Funny. His 3 wins in the UFC have been Oran Kosi, Jason Witt, and Nico Price. His losses have been Gabe Green, Neil Magny, and Jake Matthews. Rowe's a dude who's looked alright at times. Like on that winning streak, he looked pretty good. Not beat Oran Kosi, yes, terrible fighter. Beat Jason Witt, yes, a terrible fighter. Beat Nico Price when people still thought he had a little bit left. But he looked good on that winning streak. Again, in his debut against Gabe Green, don't know why you're losing that fight, but during the pandemic, whatever. Against Neil Magny in a very close fight that he could have took if you had a lot of different judges. It was a boring fight, but it could have went to Phil Rowe. And then Jake Matthews, there's no debate there. Jake Matthews beat the shit out of him last year. So, not the worst losses. Gabe Green just looked good a few weeks ago. Neil Magny's Neil Magny. Jake Matthews is Jake Matthews. And when he's fought bad fighters, he has won. So, Rowe's a dude who's always shown talent to an extent. I don't think he's great, but he has shown talent. And now he's on a 2-fight losing streak at 34 years old after a year-long break. Let's see how he looks. He's been calling for a fight for like months, since like September on Twitter. I remember him calling for a fight, so happy he finally got one. And let's see how he looks. This is his job on the line, a guy I feel like the UFC's kind of wanting to push to an extent, because he is not bad. He's not awful. He's not great. He's not awful. I think he's at his best. He's an average fighter. But this is a job on the line. They're giving him pretty much a giant step down from who he was just fighting. Let's see how he looks. Let's see how Will Smith looks. 34 years old, 2-fight skid, been calling for a fight forever. Let's see how he looks in his long called for debut with his job on the line. And to talk about his opponent is Ange Loosa. The quitter himself, the little bitch himself, is the opponent in this one. 2-2-1 in the UFC, really 2-3 in the UFC. His 2 wins have been AJ Fletcher and Reese McGee, and Brian Battle, he lost to. Let's just factor that in. Let me just say that now. His losses in the UFC, Mounir Lazez, Brian Battle, and Gabriel Bonfim. So, his 2 wins, 2 pretty bad fighters who never really could get it going in the UFC. His losses, Lazez, Lazez is not a bad fighter. Lazez was a pretty solid, pretty average guy. Brian Battle, he completely quit against, and Gabriel Bonfim, he got demolished against. So, yeah, Loosa is not a good fighter. Like, it's pretty simple to say that. 31 years old, he has no heart. He's tough, like, chin-wise, but, like, mentally, he's gonna quit. And like he did against Brian Battle, he completely quit against Battle, and, yeah, he's a bitch, so... It's truly that simple. He's a bitch. So, I have really no respect for him, and I don't think he's that good anyway, so, yeah. The betting odds for his fight are also not on Tapology. Come on, Tapology, get better. I think Angelos is like minus 150, or around that number, which is kind of crazy. I would have this a pick'em. This should be a pick'em. Phil Rowe's not want to fight in 2 years, 2.5 years, and 34 on a long layoff and a losing streak. Angelos does not want to fight in almost 2 years. He's not good, and he's just not good, if we're being honest. He's never been able to look good against decent level guys, even Lazez, who I think is about the skill level of Phil Rowe. So, his best win's fucking Reese McGee. What does that tell you? It's a 50-50 fight. I think this could go either way. Again, you got two bad fighters. Someone has to win. Who is it gonna be? In my opinion, I'm gonna go with the underdog again. I know starting off with back-to-back underdog picks is risky. I think this is a lot better than, more confident than the first one, and I think I'm gonna go Phil Rowe here. Like, I think he's better. Again, I get it. He's 34 on a 2-fight losing streak and a long layoff. But it's Ange Loosa. You should beat Ange Loosa, the dude who has shitty striking, shitty cardio, shitty grappling. He's just a shitty fighter. It's that, to be blunt about it. He's just a shitty fighter. So, if Rowe can bag the first 2 rounds, how he could bag all 3 rounds, he probably has better cardio. Phil Rowe should win this fight. I truly think that. I think he's the better fighter. Again, kind of what I thought of Demopoulos. I truly believe Phil Rowe's the better fighter here. And this time I'm picking the larger fighter. So, give me Phil Rowe by decision. I think he's better. I think Loosa's a bitch, who's not good at all. And I think Phil Rowe should win this fight. I truly do. I think he's just better. If he loses, will I be shocked? Not really, because like I said, this should be a pick'em. But you should be able to beat Ange Loosa, in my opinion. If you can't beat Ange Loosa, bro, you deserve to get cut. So, give me Phil Rowe by decision. I think he should win this fight. Just be the better fighter, which I think Phil Rowe is. So, give me Phil Rowe by decision in the second underdog pick of the night. I'm more confident in this one. Give me the Fresh Prince by decision. Angelos a bitch. After that, we go to our third fight of the night. Another fight that changed on very short notice, and this was like 2 days ago, so we'll talk about that in a second. As we have in our third fight of the night, the first of a few at bantamweight tonight, a weight class that's been really busy the last couple weeks. As we have in our third fight of the night in the bantamweight division, short notice, downgrade, but still an alright fight, as we have Ricky Simón versus the baby-faced killer Cameron Smotherman. Well, what happened here to get Cameron Smotherman in this fight? Because originally it was not that. Well, Charles Jourdain pulled out. He got an eye injury, I think Tuesday, and he had to pull out, sadly. That would have been such a good fight. I don't really know who wins that. That would have been a tough one. But Jourdain pulls out, Cameron Smotherman steps in, and now this is our fight for this weekend. A bit of a downgrade, a lot more predictable, but still should be alright. And at least we still got Ricky Simón on the card, so could be worse, I guess. So let's talk about it. We'll begin with the veteran Ricky Simón, 21-6, 32 years old, with a 9-5 UFC record, coming off maybe the highlight of his fucking career. His wins in the UFC have been Merab Dvalishvili, God have that aged well. Montel Jackson, God have that aged well. Raoni Yaya, Ray Borg, Gastano Perello, Brian Kelleher, Rafael Sunsao, Jack Shore, and the aforementioned Javid Basharat knockout, which again could be his career highlight and maybe the knockout of the year so far, or one of. His losses in UFC: Uriah Faber, Rob Font, Song Yadong, Mario Batista, and Vinicius Oliveira. Ricky Simón had a weird up and down career. Has had a weird up and down UFC career. He's won a lot of fights, a lot of big names, no less. Merab and Montel Jackson back to back in your first UFC fights is insane. A younger Raoni Yaya, Ray Borg, Rafael Sunsao, Jack Shore, Javid Basharat. The dude has some good ass wins, and he's always been a solid fighter. If you look at his 5 losses, outside of the Faber one, can you really get upset about any of them? Like Rob Font, he was still okay at that time, I guess. Song Yadong, understandable. Mario Batista, understandable. Vinicius Oliveira, understandable. Like, could you get a much better losing streak than this? Like, Jesus Christ. All 3 of these guys are in the top 15. So, like, come on. And then again, he bounced back from that by killing Javid Basharat in what was one of the best knockouts of the year out of nowhere. So, he's still got it. He's only 32 years old, and he's still got good, he still has bombs in his hands. He's still a good striker. He's still a good wrestler. He's still tough. He has good wrestling. He's a good fighter, man. Ricky Simón's always been a good fighter. He's just had a few skids in his career. Every time he has had one, he bounces back and wins a few in a row. Dude's really good. He's still got it. Again, he's getting better. Maybe you can make the case he might be getting better. So he's still got it. It's that simple. He's really good still. To talk about his opponent though, Cameron Smotherman, 12-5 in his career, 27 years old, 1-1 in the UFC, 0-1 on the Contender Series. Well, okay, so after Contender Series, he went on a 3-fight winning streak outside of the UFC, then got called in on short notice late last year, and he looked really damn good against Jake Hadley. Like, he looked really good. Completely beat him, fair, square, clear, yada yada. And then he had that Series City fight, which you can make a case was as easy, if not easier, than the Jake Hadley fight on paper. And he looked terrible. He didn't start fighting till round 3. And when he did fight in round 3, guess what? He won the round. So, I don't know what happened there, why he pretty much just shit the bed. But he should, if he fought to his abilities in that fight, he should be 2-0 right now. But he shit the bed, and now he's 1-1, having to step in against Ricky Simón on a week's notice. So, yeah, if the Smotherman we saw against Hadley shows up, this is going to be a tough fight. This is going to be a good fight. If the one we saw against Series City shows up, this is a layup for Ricky Simón. So, this is going to be a tough one. This is going to be a really tough one to gauge because we really don't know what Cameron Smotherman's going to show up. The one that's really fucking decent or the one that's really shitty? Let's find out. Let's find out. The Bang first fight are not in Tapology, but I know Ricky Simón is like minus 500 or some bullshit. Something along those lines. That's not very accurate. Let's see, what is it actually? 92% to 8, yeah. I don't think Simón should be minus 500, but I would be down to see like a 400. I know that's not much of a difference, but I think minus 400 would be good. If we don't know what Smotherman's going to show up, but if it's the one we saw against City, Simón should win by ease. If it's the one we saw against Hadley, it will be a tougher fight. I'm still taking Ricky Simón though. I think Simón's just better, even if the best version of Smotherman shows up. I think Simón's better. I think he's hungrier. I think he wants to keep proving he's still got it. So why not take out one of the younger guys in the division? So, give me Ricky Simón. I think he's just better. And, again, Could Smotherman win this? Yes, if the best Smotherman shows up, it's gonna be a tough fight. But I still think Ricky should win this, so give me Ricky Simón by decision. It should be an interesting fight. Should be a good fight. Again, that's one thing either way with what Smotherman shows up, this should be a really good fight. Like, Ricky usually never has a boring fight. Smotherman, I doubt we'll be able to lull him into a boring fight. This should be good. This should be good. Still not as good as the Charles Jourdain fight, because that was a banger. But this should be good. This should be very good. And I'm going to go with the veteran, the big favorite, my first favorite pick of the night. Give me Ricky Simón by decision in what should be a decent fight, but I think Ricky should take it. I think we all think that. And so yeah, let's do it. Ricky Simón by decision. My pick, first favorite pick. I don't see Smotherman pulling this one out. Sorry, I don't. After that, we go to our fourth fight of the night, dropping down 10 pounds to the flyweight division. Thankfully, no more canceled or replacement fights on this card, I believe. So everything from here on out is what has been booked the whole time, which is cool. So let's get into it. As we have in our fourth fight of the night, moving down 10 pounds to the flyweight division for the only time on this card. We have a very tough fight to predict and a very good one at that, as we have in our fourth fight of the night, Cody custom-made Durden versus Jose Kelzifer Ochoa. This is an interesting fight. We got the proven veteran versus the interesting young prospect. This should be good. This should be a very intriguing fight, so let's talk about it. We'll begin with the veteran of the two, Cody Durden. Durden in the UFC is 6-5-1. His 6 wins have been Orichi Lang, JP Buys, Carlos Mota, Charles Johnson, Jake Hadley, and Matt Schnell. His losses have been Jimmy Flick, Mohamed Mukayev, Tagir Ulanbekov, Bruno Silva, and Joshua Van, and he had a draw with Chris Gutierrez back in his debut. Durden's been a really up and down fighter. He's been able to do pretty good against the lower level guys he's fought, even pulling off a few big upsets like a Charles Johnson and a Matt Schnell. But every time he gets that step up in competition, like that big step up, he loses. Outside of Jimmy Flick and Mukayev, lately when he's fought the better guys, Tagir beat him with ease. Bruno Silva was able to come back and knock him out, and Joshua Van just pieced him up with ease for 15 minutes. So Durden's not awful. He has gotten better. His striking is a little more okay. It's still not great, but I think his striking's a little bit better than it was, especially when he started. Of course, his wrestling's good, his cardio's decent. Not great, but he has at least 2 rounds of cardio, it seems, most of the time. And he's a veteran now, compared to his opponent, 34 years old, getting older. 2 and 3 in his last 5 ain't great, but what can you do when you fight Tagir Ulanbekov and Joshua Van in your last 4 fights? So yeah. I don't think Durden's a good person, but as a fighter, I think he's kind of solid. I think he's a solid fighter. I think he's a top 20, 25 guy at flyweight. I don't think he's a top 15 level guy. He has been ranked before, but he never really looked right, and he's never really been able to beat those upper echelon guys. So I think he's a solid top 20, 25 guy at flyweight, and yeah, he's now getting a kind of a pretty big step down for the first time since 2023. So we'll see how he looks here. UFC kind of getting him a step down after some L's. We'll see how he looks. He's pretty well rounded. He's not bad. See how he does. Cause that step down, at least on paper, who knows, it might be wrong, is Jose Ochoa, 7-1, 24 years old, from the Shoota box. 0-1 in the UFC, coming off his UFC debut, which in that UFC debut, I think did he step in on short notice, or was he just booked? I don't remember. Either way, he did fight Lonnie Kavanagh, and he looked good-ish. Weird. He didn't look amazing, but he didn't look awful. He gave Lonnie a pretty decent fight. Yeah, Ochoa's kind of an open book still. We really don't know a lot to really make an assumption on him, because he kind of fought Lonnie Kavanaugh, so one fight sample size against one of the best prospects in the division, so take that as you will. He is 24 years old and he is from Chutebok, so he has the use on his side and a good camp on his side. He seems to be a knockout artist, 6 knockouts, 1 submission win, no decision wins. So he doesn't really like going to the 3rd round. He only has 1 time, and that was the Lonnie Kavanaugh fight. Yeah, not really a lot to say about Jose at the moment. Well, again, I think he's still kind of an open book. We really don't know what we're getting with him yet. I think, again, the Lonnie fight, he looked okay, but Lonnie is the guy who, I guess in that fight, kind of looked a little below average, or maybe Jose's just that good. If you think Jose's just that good, that really helps the idea of picking him in this fight. Because I think Lonnie Kavanaugh was way better than Cody Durden. So now factor in Jose Ochoa was just good enough to take Lonnie to a tough fight. Again, you're really making an interesting debate now, so I don't know. I'm really intrigued to see how good Jose really is. I think he's kind of an open book still, and we really don't know how good he actually is. We've only seen 1 fight from this 24-year-old from Chutebok. So let's see what more he can do against more of a veteran. It should be interesting. Let's really see what this kid can do. The betting odds think the kid's going to do even better, having him -175 to +145. I think those odds are a little interesting. Wow, Durden's the favorite in that regard. I think those odds are kind of weird. I think this should be a pick'em. To be honest, I truly do think this should be a pick'em, because you got Durden, who we know how average he is. He's not great, but he's not awful. He's a good veteran. And Ochoa, we really don't know how good he is, so it's a 50-50 fight. It's all where it comes down to how good Jose is. If Jose's really good, he should probably take this. If he's not really good, we don't know that answer. Yeah, he probably loses, so it's gonna be interesting. Again, I would have the odds to pick him, and you can make a really good case for picking Cody Durden here as the underdog. I think it's another good underdog prediction. I think maybe the best one so far. But you're kind of betting, at least with Demopoulos and Phil Rowe, I know their opponent. Jose, you really don't know yet. So I'm intrigued. I'm extremely intrigued to see how good this kid actually is, and we're gonna find out. We're really gonna find out. So what's the height and all that? Same height? I feel like that's bullshit. And same reach? There's no fucking way. But I guess we'll find out. Durden seems like a bare minimum 2 inches shorter. So, but maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? What I do know is that this is a decent fight, a close fight, a 50-50 fight, and who am I picking in that coin flip of a fight? One of the 2 hardest fights on the card to predict. Fuck. Give me the unproven kid. Give me Jose Ochoa. I think he could take this. I truly do. If he's as good, if we're going off that Lonnie just is really good and Jose was so good he brought him a hard fight, then that's gonna be interesting to see how he does here. But if Lonnie's a little bit overrated and Jose's not as good as we think, Durden should win this. I think there's a very high possibility Cody Durden can take the win here. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a very close fight, and I'm very intrigued. So, I'm intrigued. But give me Jose Ochoa by decision. I think if he's as good as we think Lonnie Kavanaugh is, give me Jose Ochoa by decision in what should be a very intriguing fight that'll answer a lot of questions about a maybe prospect at 125. Jose Ochoa by decision. Won't be shocked if Durden gets the upset though. Close fight. From a close fight to a fight that's not even close to being close. Our 5th fight of the night, going back up from flyweight to the bantamweight division for one of the easiest fights on the card to predict, and I think the biggest favorite in UFC history, or one of at least. So yeah, again, from a very hard fight to predict to one of the easiest, maybe ever, we have in our 5th fight of the night in the bantamweight division a very talked about fight for good and bad reasons, I guess. Malcolm the Machine Wellmaker versus Kris Moutinho. No, I did not stutter. Kris Moutinho is back in the UFC. This is gonna be interesting, aka fucking murder, but also interesting. Yeah, I don't really think I need to say much. We all know Malcolm's gonna win this, but let's dive into it a little bit, I guess, shall we? Malcolm Wellmaker, the guy who's going to win this fight, 9-0, 31 years old, 1-0 in the UFC, coming out to Contender Series, coming off a debut a few months ago where he knocked Cameron Simon out brutally in 2 minutes. Hell of a debut. He looked amazing, looked just as good as he did on the Contender Series, and this kid looks really fucking good. He's a real prospect to watch. Second fight of his career so far, second fight in the UFCs this year. This kid's good, a legit prospect, as if there wasn't enough at bantamweight. This kid is really, really fucking good. He looks like he might be the next Peyton Talbot guy they try and push, so he's really fucking good. And I think he's the only hometown fighter on the card, so take that as you will. Kid's good. On the flip side of that, a guy who's not good, and we always knew that, and we still know that. Welcome back, Kris Moutinho. Was he 14-7? 14-6, 32 years old, 0-2 in the UFC. Of course, we know his UFC career where he went 0-2. That debut against Sean O'Malley, where he was a human punching bag for 2 rounds, or for 3 rounds, really. So he made a good account of himself, but again, he was kind of just a fucking punch bag. And then in his second UFC fight against Guido Canetti, he got sparked out in 2 minutes. That was not very good. As a favorite, no less. So, yeah. But since he has won 5-0 against anyone good, no. Antonio Carlisto Jr., 14-6, bum. Matthias Silva, 8-2. Okay. Jay Presley, 6-3, probably a can. Elijah Harris, 6-7, tomato can. Johnny Campbell, 22-16, tomato can. The only one these two could be respectable, maybe. Why is he back? Did y'all not learn from Vince Morales? And that's just the first one I could think of. Fucking Jared Gooden. Like, these guys who get cut, go on a UFC, go outside of the UFC, win a few. They're not good. They're just beating lower level guys. Like, cool, Kris Moutinho beat 5 tomato cans in the last couple years. He's going to get starched the fuck out here, just like he was in his first 2 UFC fights. He didn't get better, his competition got worse. Let's just be fucking honest now. So, he's not good. He never was good, and he never will be good. He's going to get starched the fuck out again, because he didn't get better, his competition got worse. The bangers for fight have Malcolm Wellmaker, not on Tapology, but I think he's like minus 2,500 or some bullshit, like the biggest favorite of all time I saw at one point. Something along those lines. He was like minus, I know it was like 2,000, it might have been higher than 500, but yeah, he was a ginormous favorite, which I agree, he should win this fight. Is there a world Moutinho can upset him? I guess, but it's a world that's not gonna happen. Malcolm Wellmaker knockout in the first. Not my lock of the night. I know you might be shocked by that, but I think my lock of the night's fighting an even worse opponent, to be honest, so that says a lot. Give me Malcolm Wellmaker by knockout in the first. Moutinho's not good. He never was. He did not get better. His competition got worse. Malcolm Wellmaker's really fucking good, and he will wipe the floor of Kris Moutinho. Wellmaker by knockout in the first. Moutinho's just a punch bag, and he'll prove that again in his return. After that, we go to our co-main event of the prelims, a fight that 100% should be on the main card, but I guess for some reason isn't. For whatever reason, I don't know, but whatever. As we have in our co-main event in the prelims in the welterweight division, right back to welterweight again, a very, very busy weight class on this card. As we have in our co-main event of the prelims, a fight between some veterans that probably should have happened 10 years ago, but better late than never, I guess, is a saying they would use. As we have Michael the Maverick Chiesa versus Court the Crusher McGee. Some old ass motherfuckers. What are they? 37 and 40. Again, 10 years ago, this would have been a really good fight. It's 2025 though, and these unks are old, especially Court. But I still think this is a good fight. I still think this should be on the main card. Like, every week I fixed the card order every Wednesday for a while, and I put this fight as the third to last fight on the card. I think this should be. Some big names, some OGs. I don't get why this is so low on the card, but whatever. Good fight. I'm intrigued to see it, even if, again, I always love these old guy fights. I know it's kind of silly, but I love the old fighter fights, and this is a prime example of that. So, again, 10 years late? Yes. Do I care? No, I'm excited for this fight, so let's talk about it. And we'll begin with the Maverick, Michael Chiesa, 18 and 7, 37 years old, as we talked about. 13 and 7, a lot of sevens in his UFC career. Not gonna go down his whole UFC career win-wise. I'll go down his wins. He won the Ultimate Fighter, beating guys like James Vick and Ali Quinta. Beat Francisco Trinaldo, Jim Miller, Beneil Dariush, Carlos Condit, Diego Sanchez, RDA, Neil Magny, Tony Ferguson, and Max Griffin. His losses have been Jorge Masvidal, Joe Lozon, Kevin Lee, Anthony Pettis, Vicente Luque, Sean Brady, and Kevin Holland. Chiesa, what a fucking career renaissance. He looked like he was at the end of it. He was a big, like, one of the higher echelon guys in the division. Then he went on a bad losing streak. Luque, Brady, Holland, and he looked like he was at the end of his career. He was inactive. He took on a bad 3-fight losing streak. And then the UFC gave him the layup that was 2024 Tony Ferguson. And he looked good, and he got the win. A lot of people, me included, probably looked at it as kind of fluky and meaningless. But then he bounced back in late last year with a win over Max Griffin, who is actually legit and pretty good still. And Chiesa looked flawless. His striking looked alright, his grappling looked great, he submitted Max Griffin. He still got it. So, he was never, like, done or washed. He just fought guys who were better. Like, and especially in hindsight, Luque was really good at that time. Sean Brady, we see where he's went now, I think he's overrated. And Kevin Holland is really fucking good. So, I guess that was kind of our fault, to an extent, for kind of downing him out like that. But he bounced back with 2 wins. One's meaningless, one looked really good. And he's staying active. He's back again, fighting another OG. It seems like that's what he's been doing lately. Chiesa still got it. Striking is alright. Grappling is really good. He still got it. And what a career renaissance. One of the comeback fighters of the year last year, no question. And then for his opponent, another unk, and even a super unk in MMA, the 40-year-old Court McGee, 22 and 13 in the UFC. He's 11 and 12. I'm really not going to go down his whole UFC career, but I will talk about his most notable wins. He also won the Ultimate Fighter. He beat Brad Tavares at age pretty well. Some of his wins in UFC: Robert Whittaker, I think that guy went on to do some good things. Claudio Silva, Ramiz Brahimaj, and Tim Means, which I predicted that Tim Means fight back when they went to Utah last year. He was a big underdog. I called that perfectly. Suck a dick, people. His losses in the UFC have been Costas Philippou, Nick Ring, Ryan LaFleur, Santiago Ponzinibbio, Ben Saunders, John Strickland, Diego Lima, Sean Brady, Carlos Condit, Jeremiah Wills, Matt Brown, and Alex Morono. Yeah, Court really doesn't have it anymore. He's not had it in a long time. I would say since, like, 2022. Like, that Jeremiah Wills knockout, I think, kind of put a nail in his career. Because since he's not looked great, yeah, he got to win against Tim Means, but how much of that was Court McGee still has it, and not just Tim Means is really old and shitty. So, I'm happy Court got that win at home. I wish he would have retired, because that would have been a perfect win. He would break a 3-5 winning streak, big underdog, first round submission win, opening up the card in Utah. That would have been sweet, but sadly, I guess happy endings don't get to happen in MMA most of the time, and now he's back into Chiesa. Yeah, again, Court should not be fighting anymore. He probably shouldn't have been for the last couple years. He's not a striker. He really has no striking. His grappling's good, but he's fighting a good grappler here, so we'll see how he does. Again, he's 40, almost 41, I'm guessing. Yeah, he's going to be 41 in December. If this is the last fight, I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah, he just really shouldn't be fighting anymore. Again, I think that Jeremiah Wills knockout kind of put the nail in his career. And now I think he's kind of going on past his expiration date, so could he pull another rabbit out of his hat? Yes. Is he going to? I'd be very surprised if he did, so. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Never count out the OGs. So, this is going to be a good fight. I'm very excited. The betting odds for I have Michael Chiesa minus 330 to plus 250. Yeah, I kind of agree with those odds. I'm thinking about it. I would have Chiesa like minus 350 at most. He should win this fight. Again, he's the better striker. He's 3 years younger. He's having a career renaissance. I think he's better on the ground. Chiesa should win this fight. Could Court pull it off? Yes, but really how? It would have to be another submission like the Tim Means fight, and I don't see him doing that. I truly don't. I don't think Chiesa is way, way, way better than Tim Means. Ever was, let alone now. And I just really struggle to see Chiesa giving himself up into an easy submission like that, so. And again, if Chiesa really wants to, he can just win on the feet, I think. So, we'll see. It should be an interesting fight. Again, I love these Unk battles, and this should be a good one, so I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. But yeah, I agree with the betting odds, and I am going to go with Michael Chiesa to get the win here. He should win. He's 3 years younger, and he's having a career renaissance. Court McGee is definitely not, so yeah. Give me Michael Chiesa by submission in the first. I think some point in round one, Court's gonna shoot a takedown, get himself gillied or some shit, and he's gonna get submitted. So, give me Michael Chiesa by submission in the first. He should win this fight. It's 2025. Again, I think he'd even win this fight 10 years ago. I think he's just a better fighter than Court. And, yeah, that's what I think. So, give me Michael Chiesa by submission in the first. He should be able to catch Court early, if not, maybe later in the fight. Either way, I think he should win this fight. I don't see him losing to a very, very old Court McGee. But I guess miracles can happen. But in this Unk battle, I'm going to Maverick by submission in the first. And then finally, for our featured prelim, a rebooking a month in the making, or whenever the fuck this got cancelled. I'm not going to waste a lot of time here. I'm just going to do what I usually do for rebookings and just put the timestamp in the top right. So let's get this out of the way. As we have in our featured prelim in the light heavyweight division, our first of back-to-back light heavyweight fights to end the prelims and open the main card. This one that should have already happened, a month ago. As we have to end the prelims, Paul Bearju Craig versus Rodolfo Traitor Bellato. As I said, this fight should have already happened. It was meant to happen a few weeks ago to a month ago, and I did already break it down. So if you want to see a more in-depth breakdown, it'll be in the top right there. For what card was that? UFC Fight Night, or UFC Vegas, Burns, and Morales only a few weeks ago, so the timestamp, or not timestamp, but the link to that breakdown will be in the top right, and that's where I did a more in-depth breakdown of this fight. I'm going to do the cliff notes here. I think we all know the basics for this fight. If it's on the feet, Bellato's going to win easily. If it's on the ground, Paul Craig's going to win easily. I think Bellato's going to knock him out. The only concern is Bellato is the reason this fight got canceled the first time. He had herpes. Literally, I'm not fucking with you. That's literally the cancellation reason, which is definitely a first. It never stopped Ian Gary. But, yeah, I'm going to go Rodolfo Bellato by knockout in the first, like I would have before. He should be able to clip a very old Paul Craig, returning to light heavyweight for the first time since fucking the Johnny Walker fight 2 years ago. And, yeah, give me Rodolfo Bellato by knockout in the first. If he can keep it on the feet, he should be able to, well, he will win a feat. If he gets taken down, or he ends up on top, he's probably going to get subbed. So, yeah, give me Rodolfo Bellato by knockout in the first, in a fight that should have already happened in the Apex, but now it's a featured prelim, so still should be good. Rodolfo Bellato by knockout in the first. Same pick as before, nothing changed, nothing needed to, and that's that. And finally, almost an hour, and that's the prelims. Very solid prelims, especially when you just look at this portion. The first two fights are kind of not awful, but probably should be in the Apex. But when you get here, this is a really good 5 fights for prelims. Like, this is a really solid 5 fights. And I'm very excited. I think this is a really solid prelims. I think a few of these fights should be on the main card. And, I'm excited. I'm very excited for these prelims, let alone the rest of the card. So, really good way to start it. A very good way to start it. And, yeah, let's see how these prelims do as they set up the main card, which leaves us with 6 more fights to break down. We're almost there, baby. Hour in. Let's do it. 6 more fights. Main card. UFC Atlanta. You ready? I know I am. Let's do it. Let's get it done, and let's talk about it. And we begin by staying in the light heavyweight division for another decent fight. That should be kind of interesting. This one I think more interesting than the other one, because I think the prospect here is a lot better, and this one should be good. I am very intrigued in this one. I'm shocked this ain't happening in Paris later in the year, but guess no time to wait. Happy it's happening in Atlanta to begin the main card, as we begin the main card in Atlanta at light heavyweight with Atomic Alonzo Menifield versus Oumar Sy. This is a decent fight. Another fight that should have already happened. This was booked a few months ago, but obviously Oumar Sy pulled out. That's when Julius Walker stepped in, and yada yada. So now we finally get to see this fight a few months later, and let's see what happens. As we'll begin with Atomic Alonzo Menifield, the first main card fighter, 16-5-1, 37 years old, getting old, 9-5-1, ain't there another guy with that same record on the prelims. His wins in UFC, sorry if that was loud, Vinicius Moreira, Paul Craig, Fabio Sharon, Ed Herman, Oscar Marzarov, Misha Serkinov, Jimmy Crew, Dustin Jacoby, and Julius Walker. His losses have been Devin Clark, OSP, William Knight, Carlos Alberg, and Azamat Mirzakhanov. Menifield has had I know I say this a lot, but has had a really weird UFC career. At times, he looks phenomenal. At times, he can look like a legit, prospect and, could be a real contender. And then he doesn't. I get all his losses, mainly are against good fighters. Devin Clark, debatable. OSP still had a little left at that point. William Knight, that's pretty bad. Carlos Alberg and Azamat Mirzakhanov, very understandable. That should have a dog shit fight with Julius Walker. Yeah. that Walker fight really started to show Menifield's age and his limitations. He's just a heavy hitter at this point. He has no grappling. He has no cardio. His durability was never really a big thing anyway. He just hits hard. He's not technically sound. He has shit cardio. He's getting older. He's very one-dimensional. Again, having a close fight with Julius Walker, if this Alonzo Menifield fought Julius Walker, he would have killed him in 2 minutes. But the one that we saw in 2025, who was much older, slower, gassed, and just really powerful, he had a close fight for a guy who's dog shit, and now he has to fight one of the few real prospects in the division. One of the only two, in my opinion, with good luck. Menifield's just really reaching the end of his rope. He's getting older, man. It just happens with age. It's getting... Father Time beats all. But Father Time's not going to be calling this man anytime soon, as we have his opponent, the 11-0 prospect, Oumar Sy, 29 years old, 2-0 in the UFC, and coming off the regional scene in those first two UFC fights, he has beat Tuco Tukas and Da Woon Jung, and now he's finally fighting Alonzo Menifield. Sy has looked good in the UFC. He ran through Tuco Tacos, as he should, with fucking ease. And then against Da Woon Jung, he showed he could strike for 15 minutes and look really good doing it. And now he's 2-0, getting Alonzo Menifield. Sy, I don't think's bad. I think he looks like a legit prospect. Him and Yang are really the only real prospects in this division right now, with guys like Ibo Aslan falling to the wayside and all that. Not counting guys like Murzakanov and Allberg. I think those guys are really proven at this point. But Oumar Sy still has to be proven. Like, and as good as he did look in those first two fights, Tuco Tacos, Da Woon Jung, kind of shit fighters, so take that as you will. I still think Sy looks good. He looks well-rounded. He looks like he has cardio. His striking's getting better. His grappling's really good. He looks like a really good prospect here. I think Jamey-Lyn is a better prospect, but I think Oumar Sy looks like a very good fighter and a very good prospect at light heavyweight, which is desperately needed. We know he's going to get a big push because he is French, and we know the UFC loves their French fighters because they need a good one, with Manon Fior and Cyril Gane being pretty exposed at this point. They need one. Is Oumar Sy that one? Could be. He looks good, man. He looks really good. The betting odds for his fight have Oumar Sy minus 480 to plus 350. I don't know if I'd have him that big of a favorite. I'd probably have him minus 380, 390. I think 400's a little bit of a reach. Like, yeah, he should win this fight, but almost 500 for a guy who's unproven and only beat tomato cans. As bad as Menifield is, you never know that if the best version of Menifield shows up, you could have some problems. It's rare for that Menifield to show up, I agree. But when it does, you're in for some fucking problems, so it's gonna be interesting. This is gonna be really interesting. Of course, I'm gonna take Oumar Sy. I don't think he's gonna get fraud checked by Alonzo Menifield in 2025, but I don't think he should be minus 500. I think as good as Oumar, I think, is, let's see how he does against someone who at least has fought legit competition and beat a few guys who are legit. So let 380, 390. Let's chill on the 500. So that's in my opinion. Maybe he will look minus 500, but I don't know. What I do know is my pick here is going to be Oumar Sy by, I'm going to say decision. I think he's going to do kind of what he did. Kind of a mix of the Da Woon and the Tuco fight. I think some of it's going to be striking, some of it's going to be grappling, and I think he's going to show a good, well-rounded game plan to win a clear decision over Alonzo over 15 minutes. Is the finish possible? Yes. Could he sub Alonzo? Yes. Could he knock him out or TKO him? Yes. But I'm feeling a decision. I think he's going to show a well-rounded base and beat Alonzo over to 15 minutes, kind of like he did with Da Woon Jung, but with more grappling, and stay undefeated, go to 12-0, and get that 15th ranking. Give me Oumar Sy by decision in what should be a good main card opener, showing off a good prospect to begin the main card. Speaking of good prospects getting shown off, let's not waste time with this fight as we go into our second fight of the main card, dropping down a weight class to 185 for an easy fight to predict, the easiest one on the card in my opinion, and I don't ever need to explain why, as we have in our second fight of the main card, Cody Brundage versus Mansur Abdul-Malik. Mansur Abdul-Malik knockout in the first, my lock of the night. Do I really need to say anything else? He's fighting Cody Brundage. Simple enough. Mansur by knockout in the first. Quick, easy win. Cody Brundage is the worst fighter on the card. Mansur by knockout in the first. Lock of the night. Next. That simple. Of course, just like last time, on the flip side of that, we go from a very easy fight to predict to a very difficult fight to predict. This is going to be an interesting one. I say the hardest fight on the card to predict. This should be good. Damn, I just know it's the third Cody on the card. Crazy. As we have in our third fight of the night of the main card, back at the bantamweight division for the last time tonight, we have a very interesting fight. Very interesting understatement. I'm very excited for this one, and maybe the hardest fight of the night, from an easy fight to a hard fight on this main card, as we have Cody No Love Garbrandt versus Raoni Barcelos. This is going to be interesting. I'm very excited for this fight. Again, a very difficult fight to predict. My brain is going one way, my heart's going the other. This should be good. This should be very good. Maybe a couple years late on this fight happening as well, but I don't care. Better late than never. This is going to be good. Let's talk about Cody Garbrandt, who is back for who knows how many more times. Either way, it's good to see Cody No Love back. 14-6, 33 years old, 9-6 in the UFC. Former champion. His wins have been Marcus Brimage, Henry Briones, Augusto Mendes, Thomas Almeida, Takeo Mizugaki, Dominic Cruz, Rafael Sunsao, Trevin Jones, and Brian Kelleher. His losses have been TJ Dillashaw, Pedro Munoz, Rob Font, Kai Car France, and Davidson Figueiredo. Cody's an up and down UFC career is an understatement. He's had a up in his UFC career, and then just down, just tiny bit of up, down. Last time we saw him was over a year ago at UFC 300, where he was kind of just outclassed by Davidson Figueiredo. He's not had a good win since Rafael Sunsao back in 2020. 2-3 in his last 5. His only ones have been against Brian Kelleher and Trevin Jones, who are ass. He's 33 years old. He has a new shitty tattoo that we've all seen and made fun of. He still has no chin. I still think he has the power and striking and speed. But what else does he really have? His chin's gone. His grappling's never been really tested, like outside of Figgy, who has really taken Cody down. So take that as you will. He's just kind of past it at this point. I think you're kind of beating a dead horse having him fight in the UFC at this point. I think he's perfect for BKFC or PFL or fucking something along those lines. That dirty boxing bullshit Mike Perry's running, he'd be perfect for something like that. I just don't see him as a UFC fighter anymore. He just doesn't. He had his UFC career at this point. And now looks like it's time for him to move on. I think maybe he'll prove me wrong this week, but it looks like it's time for him to move on, to be honest. Again, I think he just screams a PFL guy or a BKFC guy, especially BKFC. So, maybe I'm wrong, but middle-life crisis Cody Garbrandt with a new stupid sword tattoo. We'll see, man. We'll see. Maybe he's still got one more left in him, but he usually didn't give him an easy one here, so we'll see. As we are talking about his opponent, Raoni Barcelos, an OG, 38 years old, 8-4 in the UFC. His wins have been Kurt Halaba, Chris Gutierrez, Carlos Hachin, Saeed Nurmagomedov, Khalil Taha, Trevin Jones, Christian Quinones, and Payne Talbot. His only losses have been Timur Valiev, Victor Henry, Oumar Nurmagomedov, and Kyler Phillips. Of course, Raoni's riding that high of beating Payne Talbot, one of the biggest upsets of the year, one of the biggest fraud checks of the year, yada yada yada. Raoni still got it. He never lost it. He took a few L's to guys like Oumar and Kyler. He bounced back. He still got it. He's still very good. His striking's still good. His grappling's getting better. He's really good still. And he still got it. Coming off that nice one of Payton. Let's see how he does here. Kind of like, dude's been up and down when it comes to having hype for a long time. Again, I think I say this every time I break down one of his fights. I remember the hype he had after the Khalil Taha fight. He was getting talked about like crazy. Could he beat Merab? Could he beat O'Malley? Could he win the boat? But after that, he kind of just became inactive and is now, since that winning streak, 3-4. So, and he is 38 years old, so take that as you will. But he is still good, and he's going to be a real test for Cody in 2025, because he has good striking. Cody's might be better, but grappling, we've not really ever seen Cody grapple much, so if Raoni does what he did against Payton, which would be grappling, it might be pretty smart. Only one way to find out. The Mansur fight, I have Raoni Barcelos minus 150 to plus 120. I don't know. I would say a pick'em. My brain is saying Raoni Barcelos. My heart is saying Cody Garbrandt, because I've never picked against Cody Garbrandt. I love Cody Garbrandt. Been one of my favorite fighters for a long time. But I just struggle to pick him at this point. He's going through a midlife crisis, getting that stupid-ass tattoo. I think Raoni's better in 2025. I think Cody's done. I truly just think Cody's done. Like I said, I think he's had his UFC career at this point. Now he's just kind of going on vicariously through that prime where he won the belt and all that. At this point, he doesn't need to fight. Again, in the UFC at least, again, BKFC, Bellator, or PFL, fucking Ryzen. Like, there's so many places I think would be better suit for Cody Garbrandt in 2025. That's not the UFC, so. But we'll see. We'll truly see. Maybe Cody has one more left in him, but this would be his first, like, good win since, like, Rafael Sunsao 5 years ago. So, let's see, man. Let's fucking see. Who am I going to pick? More than likely, I'm going to put my pick down as Raoni Barcelos. I just struggle to pick Cody at this point. I like Cody, prime Cody. That Cruz fight's one of my favorite fights of all time. I've always cheered for him. I'm going to be cheering for him on Saturday. But I just struggle to pick him. I truly just struggle to pick him. And, give me Raoni Barcelos by decision. I think he's going to be able to do what he did to Payton. Just keep the fight down and wear on Cody. I wouldn't be shocked if Raoni knocked him out, to be honest, because we all know Cody's chin's made out of fucking glass. So, we'll see. But, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to see Raoni finish him, but I'm going to say Raoni Barcelos by decision in what should be a very interesting fight. Again, could Cody pull off the upset? Very possible. Will Cody pull off the upset? I struggle to see it. I hope, trust me, I want him to. I just really doubt it. So, give me Raoni Barcelos by decision. It breaks my heart to pick against Cody Garbrandt, but at this point, I just struggle to pick midlife crisis Garbrandt. So, give me Raoni Barcelos by decision. In the hardest fight on the card predict, my brain's gonna beat my heart this time. Hopefully it's right or wrong. I don't know. How many Barcelos by decision? Sorry, Cody. After that, we go to our fourth fight of the main card, a fight that's on the main card for no reason at all, to be honest, and neither of these guys are from Atlanta, and neither of these guys are good, but the UFC, so, you know, logic has never been their strong suit. As we have in our fourth fight of the night, the co-main to the co-main, in the middleweight division, a fight that's not good at all. Should be an Apex prelim, but for some reason it's happening here. We have Edmen, the Golden Boy, Shahbazyan versus Andre Petroski. This is one of the fights of all time. Not a good one. Yeah, very bad fight. Very bad fighters. Let's talk about it. We'll begin with the cow they just won't stop beating because the UFC has to keep trying with this kid. Edmen Shahbazyan. 27 years. He's only 27. 14-5. 7-5 in the UFC. His wins have been Darren Stewart, Charles Bird, Jack Marshman, Brad Tavares, Dolce Lungambula, AJ Dobson, and Dylan Budka. His losses have been Derek Brunson, Jack Hermanson, Nasruddin Imavov, Anthony Hernandez, and GM3. Edmen's not good. I don't know what the UFC's been trying to push him as, like, trying to bring him back at the prospect for like 10 years, it feels like. And he's just not good. His only time he can actually win a fight lately is when they give him the bottom of the barrel. Even when they gave him GM3, he's somehow found a way to shit the bed. It's like, Edmen's just not good. I don't know what the UFC doesn't understand. Stop trying with this. They're just beating a dead horse till there's nothing left to beat. Like, I get it. It's kind of the same thing with Cody Garbrandt to an extent. I get it. At one point, he had a lot of hype, and a lot of people were talking about him. It's 2025, man. The dude's lost more than he's won, and since the 2020 started. He's done. People know how to beat him. He's not good. If you give him the slightest bit of a hard matchup, he's gonna crumble like he always does. He's not fucking good. Stop trying to make this kid a prospect. It's the same thing you do with everyone else. You keep pushing and pushing and pushing. They're not good. Let Edmen go already. He's just not good, man. Yes, his kickboxing is good. I'll tell you that. What? No cardio, no grappling, no heart. He's not good. It's that simple. Speaking of not good, his opponent, Andre Petroski. Oh boy. Andre, 34 years old, 8-2 in the UFC. His wins have been coming off The Ultimate Fighter, Michael Gilmore, Hu Yazong, Nick Maximov, Wellington Turman, GM3, Josh Frem, Dylan Budka, and Rodolfo Vieira. His only two losses have been Michel Pereira and Jacob Malkoun. Petroski's a terrible fighter. He has close to non-existent striking. If he's fighting someone who can't strike, his striking looks a little bit better than it really is, but he still can't really strike. And his wrestling is okay. He kind of has bad cardio for being a wrestler, but he'll have the better cardio here for sure, because he's fighting fucking Edmen Shahbazyan. I don't think he's kind of weak. His chin's kind of fucking glass. So I wouldn't be shocked if Edmen just sprints at him and finishes him, but if Andre could get the fight down, he's going to have a ginormous advantage. So, on a 3-fight winning streak, a bad 3-fight winning streak, but a 3-fight winning streak. Yeah, we'll see what Petroski can do here. I don't think he's that good. Again, a good punch, and he's going out pretty easily, but he got that he got that wrestling against Edmen Shahbazyan in a can versus can battle. Anything's possible, I guess. The betting odds for his fight at Edmen Shahbazyan -205 to +165. I don't agree. It's, again, even the betting odds can't move on from Edmen. Again, it's not 2018 anymore. Like, can we move on already? But I guess not. I would have it betting out. If you want to have Edmen a favorite, I do understand that. I'd probably have him like minus 130, 125. So, pretty much a pick'em. I think would make a lot more sense. And who am I picking in this pick'em? Do I think Edmen's going to keep it on the feet and knock him out, or do I think Petroski's going to get it down and wrestle fuck him? Fuck. Give me the underdog. Give me Andre Petroski. I think he's going to be able to get takedowns. Bare minimum, I think he's going to be able to get Edmen down at least in round 1 or 2, gas him. Well, round 1 would make more sense. Gas him out and take that round. And if Petroski has enough gas, he can win the last 2. If Edmen gasses out in round 1 like he usually does, then give me Andre Petroski by decision. I think he can gas out Edmen. Could Edmen knock him out? Yes, it's extremely possible because Petroski has no striking and has a weak chin. But I think Petroski could get this fight down and wrestle fuck Edmen. I think the UFC is really giving Edmen, I think, what they want to be an easy fight, but I think they kind of overlooked Petroski. If Edmen gets taken down, a guy who has no get-up game and no heart and no cardio, he's kind of fucked. So, we'll see. Again, the UFC wants Edmen to knock him out. That's why this is so high on the card. But let's be honest, is that gonna happen? Maybe. But I'm gonna go with the underdog. I'm gonna go Andre Petroski. I think he can wrestle fuck Edmen. I've seen it happen enough times by now. Again, Edmen's only wins lately have been Dolce Lungambula, Petroski's better. AJ Dobson, Petroski's better. And Dylan Budka, Petroski beat him. Not as easily, but still. Petroski, I think, in 2025 should be able to wrestle fuck Edmen. So, give me Andre Petroski by decision. Maybe this will be another pick that blows up in my face. I think my, 3rd or 4th underdog pick. So, maybe it blows up in my face. But, give me Andre Petroski by decision. I think he can wrestle fuck Edmen. Maybe I'm wrong. But, give me the underdog. I trust Petroski's chin more than I trust Edmen to not Edmen it. So, give me Andre Petroski by decision. After that, we go to our co-main event of the evening. Thank God it's only 3 rounds. Even if it's terrible, at least it's only 3 rounds. As we have our normal, at least one time every half point of the year, gotta have 2 a year in the beginning and end of the year, we have our normal Thug Rose co-main event. Oh boy, I can't wait. As we have in our co-main event of the evening in the women's flyweight division, our final female fight of the night, we have, thank God it's only 3 rounds, Thug Rose Namajunas versus Miranda Fear the Maverick. This is a terrible co-main event. I think this could easily, I think Cody Garbrandt should be the co-main event. I don't know what the UFC's love, speaking of people the UFC won't give up on, the UFC's love boner for Rose Namajunas just continues to grow every fucking year. And, yeah, they just won't let that one go, will they? At least fucking Cody and Edmen are exciting. What the fuck did Rose bring? So, whatever. Let's talk about it. Thug Rose co-main. We've done this enough times. Let's get over with. Thug Rose, 13-7, 32 years old, 11-6 in the UFC. Since moving up to flyweight, she is 2-2. Her 2 wins have been Amanda Ribas and Tracy Cortez. Her 2 losses have been Menifield and Erin Blanchfield. Yeah, every time she's fought up in a division, she's got beat. Even though that Blanchfield fight was close, but Blanchfield's kind of overrated. Manon beat her pretty fucking easily. And then in her 2 wins, she beat Amanda Ribas, who's not good anymore, and Tracy Cortez, who is just a fucking Instagram model. So, that's your 2-2 record at flyweight. Yeah, Rose has not been good since the Whaley knockout, for being honest. Like, ever since that Whaley rivalry, I don't think Rose has looked good. She lost to Esparza in that snooze fest. She moved up to flyweight. She looked below average. She's getting older. She's 32 years old. She's going to have Diego Sanchez in her corner, which, you know, that's going to help with something. I just think it's kind of we're getting to the end of the Rose Namajunas experience. She's had her. She's won the belt twice. She's not going to win the belt at flyweight. She's getting older. She's looking worse. Every time she fights up in competition, she's lost at flyweight. Her only wins have been Ribas and Cortez, who are kind of models more than fighters. Rose just does not have it anymore. She really doesn't, and it's just that simple. She just doesn't. So she's looked bad at flyweight, let's be blunt about it, and now her corner's gonna be Diego Sanchez and Pat Barry. Good fucking luck. To talk about her opponent, getting her first high-profile fight, Miranda Maverick. 8-3 in the UFC. Her wins have been Liana Jojua, Jillian Robertson, Sabina Mazo, Shauna Young, Petrila Cachoeira, Andrea Lee, Dione Barbosa, and Jamey-Lyn Horth. Her losses have been Vern Blanchfield and Jasmine Jasovicius. She beat Macy Barber, so only really 9-2. Yeah, Maverick's on a nice streak right now against lower level competition, mainly short notice competition. She beat Cachoeira, who's not good. She beat Andrea Lee, who's not good. She beat Diana Barbosa, who's kind of mid. And Jamey-Lyn Horth, who we talked about as not being great. And Barbosa and Horth both came in on short notice thanks to this dickhead. So, yeah. I don't think Maverick's a bad fighter. I think she's gotten better. 27 years old, 15-5. She's looked a lot better, especially lately, winning some fights pretty clearly. Her striking is still not... The striking's alright. Her grappling's getting better. Her cardio looks alright. She's getting better. And again, her only losses in the last couple years have been Blanchfield and Jasmine Jasovicius in the UFC in general. Blanchfield and Jasmine Jasovicius, those are some pretty respectable losses. I get her wins have been weak, but what can you do? Her best win is easily Jillian Robertson back during the pandemic, which that's aged actually really well. I get she moved down to strawweight, but still, that's still a nice win. And now Maverick's getting a big shot against the Rose, a co-main, and an arena. This is going to be interesting. This is Maverick's time to try and break out into the top, 6 of the division, 7 of the division. So, let's see how she can do. Getting Rose Namajunas at the perfect time. You can make the case, and we'll see if that's true. Only one way to find out, ain't it? Should be kind of interesting. This fight would be a lot better if it was not the co-main. If it was, I think this should be the second fight of the main card. So it would look a lot better than co-main, but whatever, at least it's 3 rounds, you know, so thank God. The betting odds for this fight, though, make no sense to me. Rose Namajunas minus 275 to plus 210. That's a reach. Like, I get, like, Rose is the bigger name and has beat better competition and all that, but it's 2025, y'all. Y'all gotta fucking, like, wake up and smell the flowers. Rose is not what she was 3-4 years ago. Yes, Rose would win this fight easily. 2025, I don't know. I still get having Rose as the favorite, but I would have it like minus 140, a tiny favorite. I think it's kind of really pushing it to say she should be almost minus 300 against a 4-fight winning streak Maverick who's younger and has momentum compared to Rose who's older, looking worse. So it's not coming like, yeah, I don't like Rose Namajunas, but I'm also being honest. I really don't think Rose has looked good lately. Like, what has she done? Cortez and Ribas? I think Maverick would beat him, like, more convincingly. So, I just don't think Maverick is getting a lot of respect here, and I think she's kind of getting overlooked. So, she could really shock a lot of people. So, it's going to be interesting. Who am I picking here? I'm going the underdog. I'm going Miranda Maverick. I think she can win this. She's younger. She has momentum. I think she's hungrier. She actually has a coaching staff. Give me Miranda Maverick by decision. It's gonna go 15 minutes for sure. There's no chance of a finish in this fight. So give me Miranda Maverick by decision. I think she's gonna take it. I think she wants it. Rose has done it all. She doesn't need to do anything else. She doesn't have that hunger anymore. She's getting older. She doesn't have a coaching staff. She's looked terrible at flyweight. Give me Miranda Maverick. I think she can upset people here and pull off the upset. That made sense. That was a logical sentence. Give me Miranda Maverick by decision. I think she might be the best underdog on the card. I think she's kind of getting overlooked here. And I think she's going to take it, man. I truly do think she's going to take it. Give me Fear of the Maverick by decision. Could this be wrong? Easily. I could see Rose veteran being the crafty veteran and getting the win. But I don't know. I think it's going to be tough. I would not be shocked at a split decision here. Or a clear win for either one. I'm going to say Miranda Maverick by decision. It's going to be close. It's going to be interesting. I don't think Rose has it anymore. I think Maverick's hungrier. Give me Miranda Maverick by decision. Just to shock people. Maybe I'm wrong, or maybe I'm right. Well, only one way to find out on Saturday night. And finally, speaking of Saturday night, the main event of Saturday night, what we're all waiting for on that beautiful Saturday, June 14th. In Atlanta, Georgia, the main event of UFC Atlanta, first time in Atlanta in a long time, heading to the welterweight division for a big fight that has big implications, that's going to answer a lot of questions about these two fighters, as we have to main event UFC Atlanta, a banger main event between, in the welterweight division, the former champion Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare, Usman, versus the streaking 5-0 Numansa Jalquin Bulkley. What a main event. This could easily be on a pay-per-view. But I'm happy this is getting main event treatment. This is going to be good. I can't wait. What a main event. What do we got to say here? Let's talk about it, even though I've talked about this fight plenty today. Let's talk about it one more time. And we'll begin by talking about the former champion, the overrated champion, the 38-year-old Kamaru Usman. 15-3 in the UFC. Let's point out the obvious details. He's not fought in almost 2 years. He's not fought at welterweight in more than 2 years. And he's not won a fight in over 3 years. His knees are still fucked. He's 38 years old. He's getting older. He's not looked good lately. Yeah, Hamza fight. You can make a lot of excuses for both sides. I really don't know what to think about the Hamzat fight, so I'm not going to really throw my opinion out there, and it has nothing to do with this, in my opinion. The last time we saw Kamaru at welterweight, he looked really washed against Leon Edwards, who's dog shit. Now add 2 years onto that body that already looked pretty bad against Leon Edwards. You're not coming out with a really good fighter. He's 38 years old, like I said. His body has taken so much damage. His knees, we all know, are maybe the worst knees in MMA. They're held up by gummy bears and prayers. His chin, how much more can it take? His body, he can't. Like, he's getting older. He's getting older. He can't really train like he probably used to. He's not as fast as he was. His cardio's probably not as good as it was. Yeah, I don't know. I was never high on Kamaru to begin with. I always thought he was kind of overrated. And now he's washed and overrated. We're gonna see, man, what's left of Kamaru. Would not be shocked if this is his last dance. He just really has nothing left, in my opinion. He's just really has nothing left. He's done. He took his body to the limits, had a overrated title run, got knocked out and lost to Leon twice, and now we've not seen him in 2 years. What is even left of a guy who can barely walk? So let's see. Let's fucking see, man. And then for new Mansa, Joaquin Buckley, 31 years old, 11-4 in the UFC, but we're just here to talk about his welterweight run, where he has won 6-0, beating Andre Fialho, Alex Morono, Vicente Luque, Sultan Roziboyev, Stephen Thompson, and Colby Covington. Buckley's looked flawless at welterweight. Ran through Andre Fialho, ran through Alex Morono, ran through Vicente Luque, ran through Sultan Roziboyev, knocked out Wonder Boy, and smashed Colby to a pulp. Buckley's legit at welterweight. In my opinion, he's one of the 4 best welterweights right now, with Shavkat, JDM, and Morales. He's good, and I guess he's just taking out the old guys of the division because he already got Wonder Boy, he already got Colby. Now let's get a guy who I think is more washed than both of those guys, in Kamaru. What can I say about Buckley? He's looked flawless at welterweight. Dude's a real problem. A legit problem. And the betting odds agree, having him minus 275 to plus 210. Or minus 275 to plus 210. Yeah, you could have him even minus 300. In my opinion, he's going to win this fight. Kamaru has nothing left. How does Kamaru win this fight? Jabbing his way for 25 minutes? That's not going to work. Keeping Buckley down for 25 minutes? That's not going to work. Knocking Buckley out? That ain't happening. How could Buckley win this fight? Knocking him out? Or winning 3 rounds and then surviving the last 2? Maybe winning 4 rounds? I think one leg kick and Kamaru could go down. His legs are so fucked at this point. So, 38 years old, long layoff, no working legs, really just fighting a better fighter. Kamaru is going to get beat up into retirement. I truly just don't think he has anything left. Let alone against a guy like Buckley who has everything left. He has everything to lose. He's fucking 2 more wins and he's getting a title shot. Maybe 1, depending on what happens here. So, a hungry, more athletic, younger, momentum-filled, active, better Joaquin Buckley. He's not losing this. I don't get how people are trying to make a case for Kamaru. Yes, 5 years ago we were talking much different about this fight, but it's not 2020. It's 2025. Kamaru's 38, not 34. He doesn't have anything left. So, Buckley's gonna win this fight, and I think he's gonna finish Usman. I truly do. Give me Joaquin Buckley by knockout in the second is what I'm feeling. I think round 1 is going to be an interesting round. He might land a few big shots on Kamaru, but I think round 2 he's going to start really hurting his legs and probably hit him up top, put Usman down, either ground and pound or out cold, and that'll be the end of Kamaru Usman's UFC career. Give me Joaquin Buckley by knockout in the second. I just really struggle to see any case made for Kamaru Usman winning this fight. I truly just don't see it. Everything's against him. Buckley is better. He should win this fight, and he's gonna win this fight. Giving Joaquin Buckley by knockout in the second to send Kamaru Usman into retirement. To end UFC Atlanta with a boom. That was the card. To go over my picks one more time. Vanessa Demopoulos by decision. Phil Rowe by decision. Ricky Simón by decision. Jose Ochoa by decision. Malcolm Wellmaker by knockout in the first. Michael Chiesa by submission in the first. Rodolfo Bellato by knockout in the first. Oumar by decision. My lock is night. Mansur Abdul-Malik by knockout in the first. Raoni Barcelos by decision. Andre Petroski by decision, Miranda Maverick by decision, and Joaquin Buckley by knockout in the second round to end UFC Atlanta and Kamaru Usman's UFC career. Bang. That's the card. I know a lot of weird picks. I could either look like a fucking genius by the end of the night or a fucking idiot. Like, I got, 4 underdogs? Demopoulos, Rowe, Maverick, and Petroski. I could either look really smart or really fucking stupid. So, last week I looked smart. I picked Waldo and Gustafsson. Double W. This week I got 2 more underdogs on top of, so 4 in total. Are all 4 gonna win? Probably fucking not. I'd be very amazed. But do I think at least 2 could win? Maybe. But all 4 could lose. I think a lot easier than all 4 could win, so. And then, of course, like the obvious picks, Buckley, Alec, or Mansur, Abdul-Malik, Sai, Bellato, Wellmaker, Chiesa, yada yada, so I'm not really worried about those. So it's gonna be a great card. Like, when the only bad fights on it are what? Edmen, Shahbazyan, and Vanessa Demopoulos and Rowe. That's not that bad. It's a good card. And it should be a very fun card. So it should be a fun trip down to Atlanta in the middle of June 2025. And you'll find out if it was a fun night in Atlanta Sunday when I recap it. And yeah, you'll even learn sooner than that when I do a little bit of an after party on Saturday after the card. So that will be fun in its own right. So yeah, that's the plan. Saturday is the next time you'll see me on this channel. Saturday after party after the card, live stream, be there. Thank you. And then, like I said, of course, like always on Sunday, hopefully a little earlier than last week, but YouTube fucked me last week. Recap for this card sometime on Sunday, hopefully earlier than last week, but we'll see. So, no more streaming tonight or Friday. I need a fucking break from talking. And, yeah, I hope you are. I did all this for y'all. I hope you enjoyed the videos, the streams, all that bullshit. And like I said, my goal, if I can make one person happy with my videos, that's a goal. That's a W to me. That's a goal successful, and I'm happy. So I hope you all enjoyed the video and the live streams, especially this video, because it was another hour and 40 added on to 4 hours of streaming. So, you know, Finn, and yeah. Am I free to say anything? Not really. I'm ready for this card. I'm excited for this card. Everyone wait to have a great card on Saturday and see what happens in Hotlanta on this beautiful June 14th. So, see y'all on Saturday night for the after party and Sunday for the recap. And as always, unless I'm forgetting to say something which I don't believe I am, please like, comment, subscribe, 100 subs, 200 subs, my bad, always the goal by the end of 2025. And as always, finally, RX for the night, till Saturday, out. Good vibes, only, and always.